God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take in that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin.
To say our past has been easy is an understatement. We had many hard years as a family and as individuals. When I tell my story, the story of our family, it is unimaginable to some. The trials we went through and the heartaches, and in the midst of it all, somehow we came out on top, all of us. It's been 6 years since the healing really began. There is no denying that miracles were happening. God was mending broken hearts, healing trauma, and forgiveness took away. It started with simple things: conversations over supper, campfires, a dog named Luna. Seeing his granddaughter grow faster than his 2 little girls did. My car at the time may or may not have needed some attention. I'm sure that I called Dad. Soon enough, it was an engagement and a wedding that he was anxious to see through. After I was married, I think Dad could see that I was no longer a little girl. He finally saw me as a mom, a wife, a hard worker, and one he said he was proud of. That's when our dreaming began. We talked about Scott and I buying our first home, which we did, and only told Dad after because we knew he was going to be mad that we didn't take him along. Lately though, he talked about how happy he was with the project and glad we bought it when we did due to the inflated housing market. We always talked about business. Dad and I have mostly always been our own boss, because really no one can do it just like we can. He told many stories about his good and bad business experiences, what to do and not to do, how to get around paying retail and taxes. He loved Trump and Fox News. He taught me from an early age what being a businessman or a woman looked like. We talked recently about buying a rental and what that could be. How to make a good, solid investment. That everything is for sale for the right price. Cash speaks loudly. And I don't know anyone else that carries the title to their truck in their bank bag just in case we're out and about and someone makes you an offer. He always carried a legal pad, a yellow one, to jot down notes and a new contact phone number. He also has multiple, I think they're called Rolodex, and they have tons and tons and tons of people's names and numbers in for doing business. Dad was left-handed, and recently we learned that many surgeons are left-handed. He knew his doctor was telling him that he was highly intelligent. He was worried about me getting into farming. He would say, "You're taking a big risk, kid, but you have to spend money to make money. And if you have a dream, no one can stop you." To date, I can honestly say my dad has never failed at any business he owned. There were bad days and I'm sure bad years, but overall, he was a good businessman. He was proud of my daily commitment to my chicken house. He also thought it was crazy how far people drive to buy beagle puppies. After Dad was diagnosed, it's been the hardest 443 days of my life. It's been stressful and amazing. Our trip to Florida to visit Sam and Todd was very, very special. No schedule and no plane to catch, just a full van and full hearts, living our days knowing they were absolutely numbered. You don't quite understand numbered days until it's right here. That's when we became very intentional about our time. Going to the Dragon for a sausage sandwich at Newswingers, sitting outside on my porch eating pie or chocolate cake with peanut butter icing. Going to get lattes at a coffee shop. And Dad said $5 coffee was highway robbery, and one of the times we rented one coffee, he ordered 2. Recently, Scott and I were at a funeral where the pastor asked us if we have ever turned around. Have you ever turned around? Has God ever asked you to stop what you're doing and literally go back, even if it costs you money? Whether you are driving or walking or whatever you are doing, it comes full circle when you know turning around may be the last slice of pie or the last squeeze. We have pushed many things off this year, skipped appointments, and rearranged plans to turn around. I would encourage you to start listening to that voice. A few days before Dad passed, we had some really long conversations. We laughed and we cried. Over the last year, not only were we trying to heal his cancer and give him more time through medical and alternative treatments, we were also planning our new business adventure. Go figure. We were both pretty confident that he would be here for it, and he was really excited about it. When he started taking a turn for the worse, we would sit and talk for hours about what it would be like, just in case he wasn't going to be here. Many of the nights I would stay with him until 11:30. We would eat cooked pudding and dream. He said, even if you couldn't work much, he would be a door greeter and drink lattes all day. He said, Rachel, if anyone can do it, it's you. Do what you love and call it work. He wanted both Sam and I to love what we do, not work as hard as he did, and to be in happy, healthy marriages. I'm not sure who I'm going to call 4 times a day about all my thoughts. I know that sounds crazy. Sometimes it was Dad calling me 4 times. I think it has been Scott's saving grace because I know that I overwhelm him. Dad seemed to always understand my thought process and all my visions. I think maybe we were twins. He also said that I needed to be strong for the girls and that he was at peace, and I believed him. For those of you who may not know, Dad was recently saved. He actually watched church on TV Sunday mornings for many years, and the other Sunday he actually watched 2 different sermons back to back. He only recently verbalized to others that he had the Lord in his heart. There have been many purposeful relationships built this past year that I know were divinely crafted. Thank you for those who have prayed or have been a meaningful part of Dad's journey for the last 442 days.
Wow, I'm not really sure how I'm going to follow that. I'm really just going to shoot from the hip here. I typically have all of my things and words that I want to say planned out, and I just not have the words. My dad and I were not very close after my parents split up. And after Rachel and Scott got married, we really mended a lot of fences. There was a lot of forgiveness on both of our ends. And I'm really glad that we had a better relationship in the last few years. We had a lot of really good conversations and visits and talks, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I needed to see a therapist. There were a lot of things, growing up and through my parents' divorce that it really, really took a toll on me. And my therapist has really been working hard with me to just get through some things. And one of the things she asked me in a session recently was, before your dad passes, what is it that you'd really like to talk to him about, or what you'd like to say? And I told her that my dad had never told me that he was proud of me, and that had always been hard for me. And I'll never forget, I came home last Thursday after Dad passed, and Rachel and I were sitting with him before the funeral home came and got him. And she said to me, I just want you to know that Dad told me last week that he's really proud of us. And there have been countless people who have reached out, via text message and Facebook, and just people that I've run into this week, being home, living in a small town, that have said, your dad talked about you guys all the time and just how proud he was of you. And even though we didn't get a chance to talk, before he passed, and I didn't hear it from him, it just really gives me a lot of peace to know that my dad was, really proud of us. And I feel like my dad also, in the last few years, just found peace within himself. And I have peace knowing that I feel like he went to a good place. I'm also going to share something that probably shouldn't yet, but I feel like it's relevant. Not really a religious person, but recently found out that I'm pregnant, and I was really looking forward to telling him that he was going to be a papa again. The day before he passed away, I took a test and it was positive. It was faint, but it was there. And then the morning that I flew home, which was the day that he passed, my test was stark negative and I was devastated. So I found out that my dad had, passed when I was just getting off the plane. And so not only was I devastated that, this pregnancy wasn't going to be viable, but that my dad had also passed. And the following day, I decided to, what's the word I'm looking for? Decided to kind of torture myself. The following evening, Rachel and Scott went to go grab some drinks for their anniversary. The kids were in bed. I was taking my mind off of things by cleaning. And I was cleaning the bathroom and I thought, well, what the heck, I'm just going to take another test again and just see what happens. And man, that test was so positive that it was undeniable. And I just had these thoughts that, my dad went to heaven and just handpicked this baby. And I've been feeling very upset that, he won't ever get a chance to meet, my baby or my babies, but I just really feel like this is the way that it was supposed to be, and that he held our baby before it came outside, and just continue to hope and pray that, this all comes to fruition and that, we get a chance to hold our baby in 9 months.
The car is down at Chris's and Sweets says to me, Sweets is my wife. Sweets says, Sheldon, we gotta go get the car from us. And the house was half mile, 14 miles. Oh, okay, we'll go get the car then. So I come out, because I gotta go someplace, and the car's in the driveway. Okay, so I just go on. Well, the next day, my neighbor Doug next door says, oh, I see you got the car. Yeah, I don't know how it got here. I was supposed to get it from Chris. He goes, no. I took my car to Chris, and Chris said, are you going home? Yeah, well here, take Sheldon's car back. That was the neighborhood we lived. I still live in. I had tremendous respect for Chris. And I told him, Chris knows, I went to college and some big name schools, and Chris was always sort of enamored by that. And I used to tell Chris, I'm enamored at you, at what you can do. I said, Chris, you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate who you are. You really don't. I tried, remember the time I tried to get a tire off of this trailer I had. I won't even tell you how much time I spent trying to get that tire off that trailer. I finally said, Sweet, see if Chris will come around and look at this thing. He comes up, I went home, he gets it knocked out, right? I come home, I said, what did he do? What did he do? She said, Chris said, no, I ain't telling him, that's what I do. He does his thing, that's what I do well. You're all right, that's what you do well. That's why I took it to you. Right? And he didn't. He really didn't appreciate the special guy that he was. And no matter what you told him, he just, it's just the humility in him, and that's what so much I love about him.
was 1988, and a red and rusty Chevy Big 10 pickup truck pulled into Bill's Auto Sales, where I was working. And that is when I met Chris Earhart. A famous writer once said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." If that is true, then Christopher Earhart made a great life. He was one of the most giving people I've ever known. I think when I look around this room, many of you do agree. I remember Sunday morning coffee, running around looking for car bargains, all the time at the beach. I have 33 years of great memories. The memories go way beyond that. They extend throughout this room because there are many people here that have many great memories. Chris was a remarkable mechanic. He was quite an entrepreneur. Who else could own alternative septic systems and have us joke that he was the ass man? Above all, Chris believed in hard work, integrity, and had a unique humor. In closing, I would like to share this poem with you. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am no longer there. I do not sleep. I have 1,000 winds that blow. I am the plow for your snow. I am the sunlight on your face. I am the autumn light. When you wake up in the morning, he hush. I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the campfire at night. Do not stand by my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. Chris Earhart, thank you for being a part of our lives. We're going to miss you. God bless. You're live.
Chris to me was a little man. He was a little man with a big heart. And I want everyone to forgive me for saying this, but I always told him he needed a wheelbarrow to carry his balls around. You can never tell Chris no, or you can't do that, because he would go out of his way to prove you wrong. And he didn't care what I like to call it Chris's rules. Chris lived by his own set of rules, and everybody that knows him knows what I'm talking about. I have a couple stories, little funny things, at least I thought they were. Chris was always up for a cheeseburger and a campfire, but we all know that he really wanted a steak. Years ago, our families in Ludwig would go snowmobiling upstate, and anyone who snowmobiles knows that if you're young, you have to take a safety course and everything. Well, anyway, we stopped one day for lunch, and Chris was all excited, and we were all having a good time, and he's like, I can't believe how friendly people are. They're saying, peace out, rock on. Only Chris, because everyone else knew that meant how many people were behind the last person, 2 or 9. So we had to explain to him, and there, we were laughing at his expense, but he just laughed right along. Another time, the guys went out west, Pennsylvania, and once again we were having a good time, and we get all stopped and taking a break, and he's like, did you guys see all those mountain chickens? There was no mountain chickens, it was a flock of turkeys. But we had, just laughing, and he was laughing right along with it. Another good example I have is the first time that his family and mine went to the Outer Banks. We left early in the morning. Connie and Matthew and myself pull in to find Chris washing his pickup truck. And then we had to load it while he took a shower, and then we had to stop at Dunkin' Donuts so he could get coffee on the way out. I could go on and on. He's just always a great guy. Everyone here knows it. So here's the little man. Raise your glass to the little man.
Yeah.
With the big balls.